ado, let's launch into it. And let's see what sort of games we can be expecting right off the bat. So switching over the scene, and welcome everyone, welcome to the best of 5 series between Rylo and Bromite for the Australian Open. These guys sitting in Division B. This is the second round for Group 4 of the tournament, and of course it is blind random, team random civilizations as the settings for the first map. So let's turn off the fog of war and let's see, holy shit, and let's see what sort of map we are looking at here. Looks like it is this islands? I think it could be islands or something like that. Though these islands are pretty fucking huge. If it isn't islands, is it team islands? Is this team islands? Well, I mean, it's some sort of an islandy looking map as well. Is it islands? These islands look a lot bigger than what I would have expected. Either way, it's some sort of a Grush-worthy map. So let's go ahead and introduce the players, introduce the civilizations, and have a look at their maps and see what we can talk about as well. Now over here to the right-hand side of the map, it's Team Islands. Yeah, I thought it was Team Islands, but I always thought that Team Islands had extra boar and extra resources and such. Oh, Bromite's asking if it's islands, and I can only see 2 boar. I thought there were extra boar on Team Islands, but maybe I'm wrong. Anyway, Bromite is playing over here to the right-hand side of the map in the blue, and he is random to the Chinese. Ooh, he's random the Chinese civilization out here for this first game. His opponent playing in the red, the man from New Zealand, is Rylo, and obviously Rylo, I've casted his games against Noodlebox, and he took that set, I believe, 3-0. Bromite has not played any sets of games from what I can imagine. I think he might have had a bye in the first round. So this is his first set of games, I think. Anyone feel free to correct me if I'm wrong. But of course, Team Random Civilizations, meaning the Huns, the Chinese are being chosen, or has been selected here for both players. And as I have been informed in the chat, the map is Team Islands, not regular islands. That of course does mean that the islands are a little bit bigger, which means the possibility of having your resources able to be harassed from the oh, okay. Wait, it has no extra little islands. I can see an extra little island here and here though. Huh. Confusing. Either way, a bigger map, a fatter map, means that the resources are they're going to be less likely to be able to be harassed from the shoreline. And indeed, we can sort of see that here as Rylo's main gold, or at least one of his golds, sitting out towards the front of his base, stone towards the back, and again, not really going to be harassable from the shoreline. A gold here, which probably would be able to be hit if galleys get their way around here as well. And obviously, you can tell that I've downloaded this recording from Bromite's point of view, as one of his teammates there mentioning that hello in the chat, or in the message to him. And he does have 2 extra resources, his stone and gold, out here to the back of his map as well. Bromite's map, on the other hand, well, where are his resources sitting? He's got 1 gold here, again, pretty safe for him, a stone here, all towards the back as well. Team Islands also have more chance of the island extending to the edge of the map. To be completely honest, I don't know. I always thought that Team Islands just had extra boar. But I could be very much mistaken. But either way, again, the only gold that can really be hit for Bromite from the water is this one down here, so it would be unfortunate for him if he decided to go ahead and take that. Is Rylo short for Rylo Ken? I don't know. I've never seen Rylo play except for his previous game. Now, of course, since this is an islands-based map, we are expecting to see Grushes from these guys. But of course, since the Chinese, it's interesting. I've not really seen Chinese on water at all. They do obviously start out with less wood, which means getting up a dock as early as other civilizations would be a little bit difficult. I love how there's such a discussion about the Team Islands maps in the chat, because I have absolutely no idea. But like I said, it's a little bit harder for Chinese to get the docks up at the same time as other civilizations. We can see Rylo heading out on the 16th population to build the dock, where normally you would see it, for example, at 14 pop. Bromite actually does have a lot of wood, and he hasn't gone ahead and chucked up a dock yet, which interests me a lot. Maybe he's just gonna forego the water, and maybe he's just gonna go ahead and land his opponent. But the dock coming up for Rylo here toward the south of his island. He's got a really nice deep sea fish here that he can take, and I saw one out here as well, and a deep sea fish here as well that he will be able to put his that he'll be able to put his fishing ships to good use as well. And Bromite is actually building a dock. He's coming down here toward the south of his island, this little tip, this little sort of inlet here, and unfortunately he's only got one deep sea fish out here towards the right hand side of his dock, and he is surrounded, fortunately enough for him, by all these wee tiddlers as he lures in his second boar now as well. What about Rylo? Has he lured in his second boar? Well, yes, I believe he has. I think he has lured in his... No, he hasn't. Never mind. I'm lying to you guys. I'm very, very sorry. Either way, looks like Bromite is a little bit sooner in getting his second boar in, but a little bit later in getting his dock up. And of course, his dock is not going to be as efficient since he has tasked his fishing ships to start gathering from the shore fish here. Whereas Rylo, of course, does have the advantage of the deep sea fish. So it does. Obviously, these guys are going to be going for a grush, and they're going to be rushing to the feudal age as quickly as they. Team Islands has lava. Maybe this is this must be a modded version for the Australian Open then. But yeah, both of these guys are going to be going for a grush. Although in saying that, Bromite sending a villager out to the forage bushes here, which is going to be interesting. If he's going to build a mill on this bad boy here, then it's going to set his fishing ship production back. And saying that, he actually doesn't seem to care about building a mill at all. Now I'm confused because I can't see lava. Like, it's a modded version, definitely a modded version. All this blue, this is actually orange. I've just modded it. Yeah, and as Pyro also points out, this is Islands, not Team Islands, so who really knows? Rylo heading out to gold now as well, looking like he wants to be clicking up to the feudal age very, very soon. Will he be able to after this boar? Well, he's still got quite a bit of food left on this boar, unfortunately for him, but he will be able to click up once that boar finishes, I would say. Bromite on the other hand, long distance gathering these berries as he places a mill. One tile. I don't really like the one tile placement away from the mill, but that's totally fine. That's picky, little picky things, and Rylo very close to being able to click up, should be able to off the villagers that are carrying this food. There should be 44 food on that bad boy there. And oh my god, are you serious? One food away. Jeez, just kick him in the teeth, why don't you? And there we go, he's up. Okay, go. Up. Click up. Click up. Do it, I dare you. Click up. Jesus Christ, what the hell's going on here? Click up. Click up. Click up. Click up. Holy shit, what is Rylo doing? Click up. Click up. Click up. Okay, it looks like he doesn't want to click up. Maybe he's going for the... oh, now he's clicking up. Okay. Maybe there was just a big lag spike. Maybe he was focusing on something else. Who really knows? Either way, he's up to the feudal age, and he's heading up on 24 villages, so 29 population with the 4 fishing ships and his scout still. Bromite, on the other hand, going up on 20... Well, he's going up on more than 25 villages, and he's still luring in some deer as well, the greedy wee boy. Maybe he's just going to be going for a straight fast castle on the... for this map. Rylo, however, chucking up a second dock quite early on as well, and he'll be able to get up his third dock very, very soon. And he's going to go for the stock standard 3 dock grush on this islands-based map. But again, Bromite not looking like he's interested in clicking up, at least for the time being, although he is checking out a second dock, and he's got 6 fishing ships out as well, the greedy wee boy. 6 fishing ships having come up for him, luring in the deer, gone out to berries. He's got 28 villages. This is an interesting, very, very non-standard build, but he's finally advancing to the feudal age. If he moves out to gold, I can only anticipate that he will be going for a fast castle sort of build. I mean, that's what I would naively be thinking. It's always difficult to see or to predict what these guys are doing when they do this sort of non-standard meta stuff. Unfortunately for him, he has of course chosen to take this gold, which is harassable from the waterline if he does lose water control. But maybe he's got another trick up his sleeve. Maybe he's got another plan, and he's just taking us all for fools. But Rylo up to the feudal age now as well. Oh, well, not as well. He's up to the feudal age, and Galley's coming out immediately. Are we going to be seeing double Bitax coming in from him? Well, he has the resources, and there it is indeed. So he's getting all the eco upgrades that he needs, and he's getting those Galleys out nice and quick. And of course, this is going to put a bit of a dent, going to put a stint in Bromite's fishing economy as well. That's assuming, of course, that Rylo is going to send his galleys over here straight away. And indeed, you can see that he's not. He's got his gather point actually set just a little bit outside of his own fishing ship fishing ship region here. Still 6 fishing ships for Bromite as he throws up his 3rd dock out here toward the south of his base as well. Now I'm quite interested because if we click over to his point of view, you can see that he's getting a lot of food income. He's got a lot of resources starting to stockpile and bank up. For example, nearly 800 wood. That surprises the hell out of me, but he will probably be going for a fast castle build. Into the feudal age he goes. What are we going to be seeing? A market blacksmith? Is that what you're going to do here, or are you going to go grush? Holy shit, he's actually grushing. Oh my god, okay. He's just grushing off a really delayed feudal age upgrade. Oh no, okay, now he's throwing up a blacksmith. Oh Jesus Christ. Now he's throwing up a blacksmith, getting double bit axe and horse collar as well. This is a very interesting build, like I continually say. Rylo has sent his galleys out. Or at least one of them, and he has managed to find his opponent's docks, and he can see that, wow, Bromite's actually going for a 4th dock now as well. It's interesting to see 4 docks coming up for civilizations that do not have an eco bonus. I guess you could argue that the Chinese might, since they have the cheaper technologies, but I wouldn't consider that to be one at all. Now Rylo having to get the heck out of here because he can't really take a fight. 3 galleys against 3. Fletching coming in for both players, but he can't take it outside of Bromite's docks here. Defender's advantage going to be kicking into play just a little bit too much for Bromite there. 6 military to 3, which I can only assume means 5 to 2. And now it's actually 6 to 2. But the 4th dock will be hurried up, will be rushed up by this villager from Bromite. And now he's going to be able to start taking the advantage in terms of the galley numbers. A nice galley volley coming in there from Rylo, though, dealing a good amount of damage to his opponent's galleys. Unfortunately, again, fighting outside or fighting awfully close to his opponent's docks. And we can see as he falls back to these 2 galleys, makes it 6 galleys apiece that were about to be fighting with each other. But for the time being, Bromite has not suffered any of the damage that one would expect for him going up so late to the feudal age, and saying that one of his fishing ships does get picked off. But of course, it's still 5 fishing ships, I believe, to 4 in favor of Bromite. And of course the red player here, Rylo, not really able to start fish booming comfortably like Pran was doing, for example, in the previous game. Rylo very heavily on gold, though. That's a lot of gold income for going for a 3 dot crush. Has he just set his TC gather point over there? Well, if he did, he's corrected it now. Back to the action. We can see Rylo taking some nice fights. Unfortunately, he's going to lose 1 fishing ship, 2 fishing ships. So that's now 2 fishing ships to 5 in favor of Bromite. And of course, this fight should hopefully go in Rylo's favor, since he is fighting closer to his docks and he is getting the nice trades and the nice volley hits as well. Of course, 2 galleys here not really participating in the fight, preferring to spectate. As we can see here, they don't really want to get involved. They don't want to be getting on the wrong side of these blue galleys from Bromite. But now they think, hey, you know what, we could probably win this if we jumped in. So they jump in now, and again, you can see that the galleys here from Bromite are being pushed away. More of a galley tussle. The Trans-Tasman tussle starting to come in here as well. Interestingly enough, if it was a Trans-Tasman tussle, Rylo would actually be in Australia, and New Zealand would be where Bromite is living for the time being, at least. Unless you're looking at it upside down from like the top of the atlas down, in which case the left-hand side and right-hand side have flipped around and it all makes sense. But of course, back to the action before I stop prattling on about that. So you can see now that 11 galleys to 9 in favor of Bromite. Obviously, those 4 docks really starting to push the military favor in push the military advantage in Bromite's favor, and Rylo recognizing this, and he's thinking, holy crap, let's go ahead and chuck up a 4th dock. Does he know his opponent's on 4 docks? He thinks his opponent's on 2. No, he doesn't. He thinks his opponent would probably be on 3. Maybe he's just taken bad trades. But of course, Rylo hasn't actually been taking that bad of trades. So maybe he does get an inkling, have an idea that Bromite is up on more than 3 docks. So of course, rushing up his 4th dock now to try and help himself out in these galley fights is really going to be able to provide Rylo with that little bit of extra firepower that he needs for the time being. 40 villages to 38 also in favor of Bromite, and we have to remember that Bromite's economy will be that little bit stronger owing to the fact he has more fishing ships, owing to the fact that he went up to the feudal age with more villages. And of course, Rylo's earlier uptime didn't really pay off in dividends as much as you would anticipate or as much as you would expect. He didn't manage to find Bromite's Bromite's docks, for example, until quite late in the, or until at least after Bromite had managed to get up to the fuselage and get out his own defensive galleys. And a nice pick off there from Bromite. One galley being picked off and absolutely no loss for him. Rylo falling just further and further behind in military numbers, 17 to 14. Is he keeping his docks going? Oh, yes, he is. He's also adding in a cheeky wee fishing ship here as well. I wonder if that was inadvertent. Well, no, it's not, because he has reset the gather point of his fishing ships down here to take the deep sea fish. Now, what is Bromite looking at doing? Well, he's got a market coming up here toward the back of his base. Is he anywhere near the castle age? Well, yes, he bloody well is. He will be able to click up once that market is completed. And Bromite taking a fantastic advantage once he gets that castle age click. Of course, he might have to do it at the expense of creating galleys for a moment or two, but as he starts pushing in and taking down a nice number of galleys from Rylo, he should still be okay in terms of having the advantage. And again, we can see 16 galleys to 12 as Bromite is moving in, starting to take down fishing ship after fishing ship after fishing ship from his opponent. 16 military to 10. Even throughout all of that, Bromite has managed to pick off a few galleys from Rylo here, as well as those fishing ships from his opponent. And up to the castle age, Bromite goes, and he thinks, hey, I'm looking like I'm in a pretty good spot, and he starts to fall back to his docks. Is he going to go for a fifth dock, or is he going to go for some sort of a cheeky landing? Well, for the time being, he should, in my opinion, continue to go on the water, because if he does and he manages to take the water control, if he wrests it away from the New Zealander Rylo here, then he's going to be able to get that all-important fish boom and get a huge advantage. For the time being, though, up to the castle age, Bromite goes. And what about Rylo? What can we see for him? Well, he's got, like I said, a shit ton of gold, owing to the fact that he had more than 4 villagers mining gold when he was doing a 3-dock grush. It doesn't quite... Oh, there's the market coming up, so he will be able to buy himself up to the castle age very soon as well. But is it going to be too little, too late? He is taking some nice fights and nice shots here against the galleys from Bromite. And Bromite, a very adventurous wee lad, it seems, as obviously most players who are going up to the castle age would just sit back by their docks and try and keep their galleys alive, such that they could upgrade as many of those warships as they possibly can. But Bromite thinking, hey, you know, let's put our toes in the water, let's go forward a wee bit and see what we can do to our opponent. Unfortunately, in this case, it meant getting a galley or two picked off from those of, or by those of Rylo. But for the time being, anyway, the castle age upgrade only a few seconds away. 30 seconds away in game time now. Rylo buying the food that he needs, and he's up to the castle age once he gets 9 more food. There we go. He's up to the castle age now as well. Of course, he is going to get there a decent amount of time after his opponent, and it's going to be, again, an interesting decision whether or not he decides to go forward now that he sees Bromite is in the castle age, and yeah, he's going to start pushing out now as well. He wants to take the fight against Bromite's galleys before they turn into war galleys with Bodkin Arrow. 25 galleys to 22. This is not going to go in Rylo's favour, especially as he loses 2 galleys straight away. Unfortunate for him. He's starting to push Bromite back a little bit. One villager pick. I wish. 1 galley pick coming in there from for Rylo on Bromite, and Bromite just going to start running his galleys around now as well, at least until the war galley upgrade comes in. Of course, Bodkin Arrow has been researched, so he still outranges his opponent's galleys and could still take this fight. But now that the war galley upgrade is done, Rylo recognizes he has to get the hell out of here. Of course, they do have the maneuverability and the speed advantage over the war galleys, but I'm pretty sure war galleys are created quicker than galleys, if I'm not mistaken. I think that's the right thing to say. But 26 war galleys against 20 galleys here for Bromite on Rylo, and Bromite should just stay at the docks here and start taking them down, and hope that he manages to. And there we go. He's going to stop here as if he a bit of retrospective stream cheating. Oh, now he's ignoring me. Okay, now he's going to keep going and seeing what harassment he can do. See if he can pick off those galleys from his opponent. And of course, Rylo is managing to keep his army alive, his navy alive for the time being. Is Bromite up on another TC? Well, yes, he is at the back of his base, and at the front, he's up on 2 extra town centres as well. And Rylo, is he going to be able to hold on to the castle age? Well, yes, he will be able to hold on to the castle age. What is he going to be able to do once he gets there? He's only 5 villages behind, but he is 10 military behind for the time being. Still on 5 docks is our blue player Bromite, as he throws up a university inside of his inside of his economy as well. Wargully and Bodkin are coming in for Rylo, but he is taking some unnecessary damage and unfortunate damage as well, it must be said, or it has to be said. And even when Wargully comes in, the amount of warships here that Bromite has is definitely going to be able to take down those galleys from Rylo, whereas at the front of his base, just outside of his docks, it's for, oh hang on, it's 5 docks for Bromite. Holy shit, 5 docks for Bromite, sorry, and 4 docks here for Rylo, so Bromite definitely investing quite heavily into the water. And again, I think Rylo's going to get trapped. I feel like he can't get out over this little land hump here. We'll have to wait and see how that one goes down, but it could be a trap. It could be a dead end that Rylo is pushing himself into, which means his whole fleet at the north is going to be completely wiped out, and he's under a lot of pressure, a lot of stress and a lot of strain out at the front of his base as Ballistics comes in for Bromite now as well. Let's see, yeah, I think he's recognized that he won't be able to get out this way. Maybe he clicked on the other side of this little sandbank. Yeah, actually, there's no way in hell he'd be able to get out over this at all. So he's just led himself into a trap. An extra university, sorry, coming up for Rylo. His docks are about to be taken down, although in saying that he does expel a lot of war galleys out of his docks at the front, but I still think with 36 military to 30, I think Bromite should still be... Oh, Bromite's actually... Bromite's sparing these galleys back here. Wall them in. That's what he should have done. Wall them in. Ballistics now coming in for Rylo as well, and he is managing to force away Bromite from the front of his base outside of his docks. So for the time being, Rylo might still be in here with a shot, a shadow of a chance, but 62 villages to 46, as well as those 5 fishing ships that I believe Bromite still has going. Well, he's got 3 fishing ships here. Has he lost 2 others, or are they further down? Okay, 3 fishing ships. That's okay. We can go for 3 fishing ships to none for Bromite against Rylo. And now that Bromite's bringing down the rest of his galleys from the north of the map, he will be able to start taking this fight here quite definitively indeed. But it is 34 military apiece here pretty much for both of these players. Any extra TC coming up for Rylo? Well, no, there is not. So again, the economy here from Bromite is really going to start to be kicking into overdrive as he moves out to take stone as well. But a nice pincer move coming in here for Bromite. This part of Rylo's fleet, even with careening coming in, he has not got the timing that Pran has on his careening upgrade, and unfortunately it is going to be too little too late as these galleys get picked off, even as they run away. Ballistics having been researched for Bromite means that these galleys, as they scarper, as they flee, will still have a lot of war galley shots landing upon them. And now the docks here from Rylo rather, under a lot of stress, under a lot of strain, and 1 dock is definitely going to be going down here, meaning 3 docks against 5. Bromite is in a very, very demanding position here, and it looks like he's in a fantastic position to be able to take the water back and probably take the game from there as well. Again, he needed the water control because he'd be forced off that gold there if he didn't have it. But of course, Rylo bringing the rest of his fleet around, and it looks like it's going to be the last roll of the dice for Rylo. 3 docks, again, I reiterate, 3 docks for Rylo, 5 docks for Bromite, and it looks like Bromite still will be able to take this fight as he reinforces galleys, war galleys rather, from his docks. Keeping an eye on the military count here, 23 to 16, so maybe Rylo might just be able to hold on. If he holds on, it will be by a thread, but in saying that, it looks like it's going Bromite's way. 20 military, or 19 to 14 here. The 5 military lead still in favor of Bromite throughout this whole fight, although now it is clawing back to 4 and 3 and 3, and maybe, again, just maybe, this could be going in favor here of Rylo. We have to remember that Rylo does have careening, whereas Bromite does not, so that is going to give these galleys here from Rylo a little bit more staying power. But at the end of the day, I think the military numbers are just going to be too much for Rylo. But I have been wrong many times before, so maybe I could be wrong in this case as well. What have we got? 13 military to 4. Something tells me that there it is. The GG is definitely imminent, and Rylo recognizing the situation and thinking that he can't salvage the game if he doesn't have water control, and he calls GG in the first game between himself and Bromite. So well played to Bromite. Really unorthodox opening with the very late feudal age time, but it paid off. He managed to get himself up to the feudal age in a good enough time to be able to defend against the initial galleys from Rylo, and very strong play from him as well. So again, as always guys, what we'll do is we'll switch the scene back over. We'll switch the scene back over to the Australian Open interlude, or the Australian Open overlay, however you'd like to call it, and I'll load up the next game and see you guys in just a moment's time.